All right, here we are, Teaching Tuesday.
All right, so
Anyone got a question?
I'm
we're here for
looking
your
at
questions.
trying to see what I should bring up. One thing I'm wondering if we want to take a look at is some of the review answer pages are not firing when I hit the edit button for certain things. I got the circularity loop one time on something, and I don't know if that's something that is interesting and useful enough for this group, but I know that's something that's outstanding on my list.
We could look at that for sure.
Matt, did you find an example of that in my recently reviewed interviews? Was that one of their comments, I think?
Yeah, yours had it too. I had it in
Okay.
mine. So yeah, this maybe will help us both.
Thank you.
Sure.
One thing to know about the review screens is they're not that good. So it's not, you should expect that you have to tweak them when you finish your form. And they don't update when you edit the interview. It's just based on what the first draft in the Weaver was. So, but yeah, let's see if we can figure out the specific one, and it might be a good model because it's something you'll probably have to do more than once.
Okay. Let me find one. I don't know, Audrey, do you want to share yours first so we can look at it?
Oh, I haven't been focusing on coding this morning. I've been doing other things. So I'm
Okay. I just didn't know if you had it up.
not in the
ready.
zone.
All
No,
right.
not at all. I
right,
just
let's-
skimmed your email to me, and I appreciate that you reviewed it so carefully. I just haven't had a chance. And this afternoon's pretty booked too, so.
Okay, so I will share mine then. Okay, let me zip through it to get to where I had an issue. So let's go for that. Yeah, why not? Okay, so I think I can cause it to have an issue here. So if I go into the other parties, oh, I wonder if I took it out. I thought, oh, here we go. So here's all the information about this person. I decided to include their lawyer here. I think this was one where, yes, it just goes on and on and on. And then I think I get the circularity error.
And what was the button that you clicked?
I clicked the edit
Okay.
for lawyer name.
Or other parties .lawyer. Oh, let's see.
Do you want me to, what would you like me to look at? That review answers?
Sure. So I think review, here we go. Let's see. And you were trying to edit the attorney's name?
Yes.
Okay.
So I think it's this.
So I think it should be x.lawyer.name.first, right? On line 727. I think that might be all it is. Let's see.
Okay.
Because I think the lawyer is an individual object, right?
Yep. That was it. Cool. All right. Great. That's one. I had 4 that I had encountered, and I know there are more, but
Right.
that is great. Thank you. Let me see what else. Oh,
Why did it come up as a circularity error?
So
Do you know?
yeah, if we think about like what that does, it's trying to find a question that defines x.lawyer, which is the objects block.
Yeah.
And I think the way that it tries to force that being asked, like there's no question for it to ask about it. I think that's what's going on.
I think you'll want name dot first whenever
Oh.
you edit. It's always pick a
Yes.
specific, all the way down to the primitive that you're asking for in the question.
Thank you. That is good.
And it's not that it's necessarily wrong to do just editing an object if there were a question that provided the object, but there just isn't a question that provides the object. It's actually created in an objects block, and then the question provides the name of the person.
That's fair. It's
if-
less a primitive and more what does your question actually have as an answer?
Right, yeah,
What
because
is
you
the
could have
variable
like
you're
an
setting?
object checkboxes or object radio, which defines that field for some reason, that attribute for some reason.
Okay.
I don't think your questions work that way. And it's not, actually, that might not be a bad design if you had wanted to like figure out some way like to be able to reuse an attorney on a follow-up question. Like they said, this attorney represented party X, maybe they also represent party Y, and give them the choice to choose from the names that are already provided. Then you might use that pattern of having an object that you select from, but I don't think it makes sense. But you're not using it here, so that might be too much information.
Okay, good. Well, I think I know I also had on my list that editing the other party's name was not working, and I just did the same thing by adding .name.first. That, I think we'll take care of that. Let me see. Wonder if I made the issue there. Oh, whoops. Oh yeah, so this, I'll need to go back and change something here. Oh, okay, this is. So let's say I have 2 people on my side of the case. What I would like to do is when I go to this, I think on the review screen, I'll make a new section that says your name. And then I'll have edit and I can update or then review my name if I made a typo or whatever. But I do like here that it shows, okay, these are all the people on your side of the case. When I click edit, I'd either two things. Either I guess we could do that other way that I talked about, or if I can get rid of this delivery info, because I never need to deliver it to myself.
Yeah, so in your table block, you'll just want to put an if statement there to not show that edit button if it's the same. So you have here right now, you have it as, you could kind of model it on the one you have on line 776. So you want to have, keep 778 the same, just add an if statement afterwards. It's a one-line if statement, unfortunately, because you can't do a multi-line statement.
So, like this?
Yeah. And what you want to check for is row item. I think just equals, double equal sign. Users bracket 0 should work. Sorry, you want to have if not.
Good. Okay.
Else, yep. And then just maybe empty quotes.
Okay. So yeah, I made a note here that I wanted to do some kind of conditional here, like only included for yes, numbers that are, or index is greater than 0. So, okay. So this is saying if it's not that, okay, let's see.
Because we know that the user's name is always going to be in position 0, which is, the same font check you want.
Beautiful, great. And so now I could go here if I just wanted to edit the name. Super. Oh, so easy. See, this is what I'm talking about. This one-on-one. This is how we knock these issues out. Thank you. All right, let me see what else I got. And Audrey, if you have anything else to add or ask about, please go ahead.
No, I haven't really had the chance to look at your comments from this morning, so I just pay attention.
All right, sure. No, most of the things that I brought up were just formatting or simple tweaks. The one that I wasn't sure of how to handle was the circularity error, which that is resolved. We know how to fix that. So that's great.
Okay.
Okay, so here, this is a question I had. If I entered in that this party has a lawyer, and then I realize she does not, what is the best way for me to clear out the other party's .lawyer .name variables? Like where should I do that in the code? Should I just have a code block that's always checking for whether they have a lawyer or not? And if they say no, then
so I believe I don't remember the syntax, but I believe that can be in the review block or the table itself. I think it's like sets or like reconsider. So like when you I think it might be like right before like the does user have a lawyer, you can like have that set whether or not they have a lawyer and also set the lawyer's information. I don't remember the syntax off the top of my head, though. I don't know if you would.
Yeah, you could do undefine or recompute. That might not be what you want because then it will erase. People can't easily toggle back and forth. It'll happen anytime people click the edit button. So maybe if they're not changing, depends on what they, if they change it, but they don't want to, they click the edit button, they don't want to change it ultimately. I don't know what happens there. So I think having the logic in the place you display it actually does make a lot of sense.
Okay.
Does it need to be removed completely so that it doesn't appear in the form as well, or does it just need to be removed visually from appearing on the review screen?
Yeah, I want it to be gone completely because we don't want to put a non-existent lawyer's name on the form.
Yeah, I mean, this is like a real big issue whenever you're trying to edit information, and then you can undo something higher up the logic tree, right? Like it's a perennial issue.
Yeah.
And I think that really the only solution is brute force logic in your display code, because you don't necessarily want to erase answers when people change their mind, because they might want to change it back. And then they've
Right.
lost that information that they stored. Or maybe they're going to reuse these answers in a different context where they do need that original response. We don't really have a good way to pass saved answers back and forth, so that's less relevant here. But like on LHI form sweeps that I've done, it's a big issue with hot docs interviews. So that is what I do, and it does take some time and effort to do. But I think it's a good question to ask, and I don't know if there are any suggestions that Jonathan has to make it easier. But I think, basically for this one, it's not too hard. You just make an if statement in your attachment block that handles whether it should display that person's information. You can get into more complicated things, but that's basically the way I do it. Sometimes I create, to help make it so there's fewer nested if statements, I do like whole alternate sections of the document. So like there's one where they chose something and one where they didn't. And the one where they didn't choose it is clean and unmarked without additional logic in it. So I don't have to have separate if statements for each little piece of information that could have changed contingently. But that's the basic design pattern that I have found works.
That's on a docx, right? Is
That's
what
on a
you're
docx.
describing?
Yeah,
Okay.
you can't make whole swaths of fields contingent in a PDF. You have to do it one by one. So that's a really very good point. The other thing you could do design-wise is like, if you figure out, hey, this is a pattern I need all of the time, then you can create little helper functions or methods. So we created one for the signature, for example, which shows the signature if it's the final version of the form. So it's a one-line method, which is easy to read, and the logic, it helps make the logic a little easier to understand what it's doing. And you could imagine making a method like that on AL individual that says attorney name if has an attorney. So it would make it like a little bit wrapped. The logic would be wrapped up a little bit better. There's a show if function, which does some of the same thing too, to condense that logic into one line. I don't think there's any way around that, really.
Yeah.
It's one of the places where the concept of the form, paper form output, is really kind of harmful for storing semantic information.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm comfortable with adjusting the attachment block based on the value of is represented. But I wasn't sure how to then change whether this field is displayed based on is represented.
I think Michelle had an idea there that you were about to say, right?
That is Mako. So you should be able to have an if statement just like you would in Mako. I don't remember what I was about to say, but.
And if you don't want the whole button at all to appear and not just text inside it, you can use the
Oh,
show
there's a
if
show if, yeah.
It works a little bit differently to the show if in a regular field statement,
Oh,
but
would it be here?
yeah,
Like,
I think it expects a list of variables, but you might be able to put in just one.
oh, I see. Whoops, this is maybe not.
That should work. Show if x dot is represented.
Yeah, I think I want to
It's
hear
the
that.
wrong look.
Oh, it's the wrong variable,
block.
Oh, circular, yeah.
Thing.
That.
Wrong view. Yeah, so that should do it. Yeah, and this is the kind of thing it's hard to automate, right? Like, you know, unless you have some other structure.
Nice. Yes.
If you know in advance, you can optimize your data structures, but that could be an overfit.
Yeah, so I wonder though if I need to make this, I have this as yes or no, and I'm allowing for an I don't know. So I'll have to,
But if they say, I don't know, you probably don't want to show their lawyer's name.
right.
So it's probably right.
Yeah, it's right. I just don't know if someone will freak out because they said, no, I said I do not know if
Oh.
they have a lawyer. Just
Oh,
what we're
okay, yeah.
displaying right here.
Yeah, you should fix that probably, you're right.
Yeah, so it's,
So instead of using yes, no, I think we have a function for that, yes, no, unknown. And you can get rid of the word function wrapping around it.
oh,
Let me double check that. Because I know I hadn't tried to find it the other day and I couldn't, and then I found it. I think it's inside the AL toolbox class.
would it be over here?
Yeah, you'd see it on that list, you're right.
Uh,
Yeah, yes, underscore, no, underscore, unknown.
is it where? Would
It's
would
with
it
the
have been
yellow
in-
stuff. Yep, the yellow stuff.
Yeah. Isn't this alphabetical though? I don't know why I'm not seeing it.
Yes.
I just have this one.
It doesn't show it there. Interesting. Okay. Try it. And is this using the assembly line repo?
Yes.
It is. Okay. You might, I thought that included the AL toolbox by default, but it might not.
Oh yeah.
I know
We only
I know
just
we
added
do.
that recently.
Oh,
you added that just recently.
Like last week. That was
I
what I was
think-
all those dependencies adding stuff I was doing last week.
Okay.
Matthew,
So-
if you did use it, it would have each word would be separated by an underscore,
oh, gotcha.
but it sounds like
doesn't
this
find it
version
either
of
way. Right.
a assembly line doesn't have
You-
the toolbox.
You can still add it yourself. Like that would be
Yep.
Yeah.
like if you want to go to your packages and just
Let's see if it still shows it in red when you hit save because it hasn't updated yet.
Come on. There we go.
It does. Okay. That's very weird because I know there's some functions that we use, but what file did you include at the top? Let's just check.
It's just the,
AL package should include the assembly line, the toolbox MISC, but did you add it as a dependency, Bryce, or did you add it as an include? Because those are different things. I thought you were saying you added it as a dependency.
dependency. So I don't know if it's automatic. It wouldn't have been automatically installed if Matt, you didn't already like go to update packages and add AL toolbox.
Oh, good point. So we should
yeah,
first
should I
of
go
all,
update
I
it?
don't know quite why it's not including it. Maybe we intentionally tried to avoid forcing people to, but now it's a dependency. There's no reason to do that. We can force them to install it. But then you'll also have to install it on the server. So let's add a line to include it and see if that solves it. And if it's not, you might have to install it on the server.
So right
So
here,
it won't be an include, it'll be a module.
it's a
statement.
module. Okay. But did I have other modules? Not in this one. Okay.
And I actually haven't looked at this function in a while, so I hope it's not totally the wrong thing for what you need. But it's module is plural. So DocAssemble dot AL toolbox with yep, Pascal case, and then dot MISC, MISC. All right, let's see if that clears the error, or if you get a different error. If you get a syntax error, that means we have to install it.
Yeah, I think I've used it in another one before, but maybe I don't know that I've well, I mean, another issue is I don't know the last time I updated the assembly line package, but it wasn't that long ago. Anyway, so it's not giving me a syntax error, but it may just not see it. Would it?
Really, that's so weird. Okay, well, let's try refreshing that screen that you have open.
Doesn't know what to do with it.
Because it doesn't think the function yes, no, unknown is defined.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's interesting. Because you're doing it in a review screen, that behavior there is to not trigger an error usually, or if something's not defined. I think we just have to install that. I don't know why. I guess it didn't try triggering anything from that module somehow. I don't know why that didn't cause an error. Let's just install the package and just make sure it's the up-to-date version, even if you do have it installed.
Okay. Should I log in as admin to handle that?
Oh, okay. If you don't have access to install packages when you're not
Well,
admin,
I do, but I guess I was wondering, will it, or I think I do.
Let's see. Yeah, it looks like you do. I think
You want to
developers
pause
do.
the sharing of your screen
You
while
won't have
you
to see
log
any of his
in
permissions.
differently?
Right. Oh gosh.
No, that's annoying. I think this is a bug I saw someone report on the Slack channel, which I think will stop you from being able to go.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
okay.
All right. Yeah. Well, maybe can we stop recording for a second, then I'll just log in, or does it not work?
Well, you can hit pause on your recording because ours I think will
Pause on
make a
your
new
recording, so
video.
I can't pause the share.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
Let
but
me
you
just-
can pause your.
You can
Screen
pause the
share?
share rather. So don't say anything that you wouldn't want recorded either.
Okay, thanks. Thank you for your patience.
And for yours.
Okay. Should I share it again so we can show what we're doing now that I've logged in as admin?
Quentin
Well,
is nodding if you can't
See
see.
if you can do it when you're logged in as admin. Yeah. Oh, you got to the page now. I don't know
did.
why that would have been different depending on your permissions. That's weird. Very weird. Okay, you have AL toolbox.
Yeah.
I guess update it.
So
I don't think this is something that's only in the latest version. But there must be something else that we're doing wrong. Figure this out.
I mean, is he importing AL Toolbox directly inside the interview?
Yeah, we just had.
Sorry.
We added it as a module. Sorry, that's why I didn't answer right away. I was trying to figure out there's an import statement you can use too, but we didn't do
Okay.
that. We did the module statement, which should work.
So now,
Did it change the version number?
yep.
It did. Oh,
Went from
significantly.
7 to
Okay,
10.
so maybe that was the issue.
Okay, let's see. All right, sorry, one more.
And I didn't bump the version. Michelle just added a new function to this here, which didn't get a version bump to go with it. But we should do that too.
Oh, to which one? The
Sounds good.
assembly line?
Doesn't matter for what you have the latest code. I just realized it should really be 0.11 because of some new code that got added.
Okay. Oh, it
New
looks like it's
module.
okay because it is already not complaining. That's great. Ah, got to run it again. Oh well.
I don't. Oh, you do. It made
Yeah,
start
it
over.
it wait.
That's a note. That's too
wiped
bad. I'm
it.
sorry.
Oh well, you know what? Maybe if I just sign
You
in.
might be able to go to your interviews. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, go to my, and oh, it is there already. You're in the right place.
Oh boy, I wish I could. Is this?
Sort it. Yeah, it's really predictable. Try that one though.
I think that's the one you were just on. I think you have to go, you have
Oh.
to do the previous one.
Good call. Good call. Very good thinking. All right.
Is that right though? Is it not showing the button when it should? It's not showing it at all anymore.
Right. So let's try it again. Yeah. So I think it should have the show the is represented by a lawyer.
Try on your review block. This is really dumb, but I'm curious if this is what happens. Let's try saying need, yes, no, unknown. That'll force that to get defined.
In where?
On the whole block. So yeah, right after line 712, add a statement that says need, colon, yes, underscore, no, underscore, unknown.
Is it? I thought it was plural, but maybe I'm incorrect.
Oh, needs. Is it need or needs? That's like.
I guess we'll find out. Perhaps.
Yeah, good point. I can't remember now either. Try
Seems
saving.
happy about that. Yeah, it just did it. Let's see.
Did that change? Can't see,
No,
sorry.
it still
No,
is not.
Maybe it does need to be restarted to get what we need.
Oh, good point for the modules statement, maybe, but it shouldn't. It really shouldn't, because you can change an interview and then go back to a saved answer file, usually, but it's possible.
Where would an error from a module be logged when it's not caught in the review screen?
I think it's just discarded, positive.
Okay.
I hope actually yes, no, unknown does what you wanted here. Like I said, I haven't looked at the function in a while. Let's see.
James Brady
I'm just
does.
repeat the code and see what it
Yes.
does. That made it work?
Well, I'm still just putting in the data yet. I don't know about the.
Okay.
Oh, I guess I could. I'm gonna. So I have both a lawyer for both parties. Let's just see. Say no for now. Okay, let's see now.
Now looking at it, it says it returns the
Well, it has
variable.
lawyer name, so but it's not showing the. Yeah, the yes, no. So yeah, what does it return? Because it doesn't look.
Yeah, no,
It
I'm
looks
looking at
more
it
like it's
now.
returning something that's not a string.
Yeah, well, it
So
returns
possibly an error.
string
Or,
if condition is none. Okay, so it's actually we're not calling the function the right way. But I'm trying to decide if it actually is what you want it to do. We might want to just write out the logic here after all.
yes.
Okay. That's cool. That's cool.
So do a new line
Um,
and then an if statement.
so would it? So this will show the button. Oh, well, this one we want to show regardless, right? Okay. So the if, will it be right in here? Or where?
Oh, I see. This was really designed for filling in checkboxes. If there's a yes, no, I don't know checkbox. So it will still return yes or no, or true or false. to
So
fill in
here you
checkbox correctly.
you have to indent it a little bit more.
2 more.
I think you'll have to indent it one more, even than that, to
Oh,
line up with the
even
rest of the
yeah.
stuff.
Gotcha.
So if X
I'd
dot
say-
is represented,
Oh, I think
I-
maybe part of the problem is that I've only my question asks for yes, no, and I don't know, but I think I'm putting it in is represented Boolean.
But that's okay. It'll be true, false, or none. So you can check if X represented is none,
Okay.
then you put, don't know
Where
or
did I-
unknown or something. Else, yes, no, X is represented.
if X.
Here use is none, I think is the correct
yes, that's right.
syntax.
What's
And I
that?
would do it first too, just like Michelle's saying.
Sorry, what?
I would do is none instead of the double equal sign. Capital N. None is a built-in object in Python,
Oh,
basically.
okay.
So a colon.
Then the text that you want to show if they're not known.
Oh,
If I don't know was the answer.
okay.
And then the else, if that, the
Else if,
else, yeah.
ELF.
Well,
ELF.
actually, just else, I think, because else you can just return
Do the
yes,
word.
no, X is represented.
You could, yep. That is true. You might want
So
to,
this-
yeah, I guess the yes, no through the word functions should work.
And then
What you're
end.
doing elsewhere. If you're working on it now, the only thing I would say is like you might make it more translation friendly to write out the yes and no, but I think this is fine.
Oh, I will want to do that eventually. Yes, yes, a lawyer. No, it is not of a lawyer. Yes, it does. So it still remembers, but I'll have to make sure I clear that out in the attachment block.
And try the, yeah.
No,
So that doesn't quite work.
it didn't work. So let's see what it's.
Can we see what kind of variable that is?
This one?
Yeah, so on the screen where you choose the yes, no, or I don't, or unknown. You could look at it on the screen, just with the source button.
Oh,
Running interview too. So let's try editing it.
that's pretty good.
Let's just do a source and see. Oh, so it's a radio button. That's why. All right.
Oh, this
Oh,
you're
I
always
just need
going
to
to get
change-
true, false, or false. You can change it to none.
That's what you were saying before.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Or we could just make it a yes, no, maybe, which I think, unless you didn't like the name of what it displays for yes, no, maybe.
Well, what is the
Syntax.
no? I'm
It would be none with a capital N.
right.
Instead of
So
field X that is represented, you just do yes, no, maybe, X is represented. So on line 306.
So, and I'm sorry, where would I haven't used that before.
Instead of the word field, just write
Uh-huh.
yes, no, maybe. We thought that's what you had already done. 'Cause I
Oh.
think it looks the same.
That?
And then you would just, for now, I think that should work and look the same. I think the answers are exactly the same as what you have here. Yes, no, and I don't know. But you'll want to comment out lines 307 through 310 or delete them.
I think we need radio at the end to make it look that way.
Don't think so.
Because I think otherwise it's buttons. Well, comment
shall
out line
see.
307 through 310 and we'll just see.
You're saying it will be buttons instead of radio buttons. I don't think there's a yes, no, maybe radio for the single question type, but there could be. I just might not have used it. I guess understood what you're saying
Wow.
first.
Why am I so sluggish?
I just think it'll look like buttons. I think you can, yeah, just refresh.
Oh,
Let's see if there is a way to do that with radios.
I think it would have to be a field.
Yeah.
Well, that part's working. Anyway.
I think if it were a field statement, then it only could show it with radio buttons.
Not a field
Let's see.
statement. I think it would have to be a field in a fields list. To be a yes, no radio.
What?
A yes, no, maybe.
A field and a field list?
Like fields, colon, new line, dash, variable
Right.
name, data type.
Yep, that's
Yes,
what
no,
I was.
maybe.
That's what I was saying too.
Ah, okay.
So like this, oops, if you spell it right.
I think
Just
that's
one
still
field?
spelled. Oh, there we go. Fields. Nope, it would be fields, colon, and then new line. Like as if you were going to write your own choices block,
Mhm.
except for it'll be just a data type, right?
Yeah,
So
if you do
then your
data type,
question,
yes, no, maybe.
you'd say
that would be
no
radio.
label. You'd say no label,
Up
colon.
here.
Mm-hmm.
it-
Lowercase, I think.
Like that.
And then a data type of yes, no, maybe. I think that will do it.
I wonder why I'm so sluggish all of a sudden. Right.
Now, the one thing that is kind of annoying with a no label and only radio buttons is the asterisk that shows it's required is in a weird place, but I wow, that always annoys me. But maybe you could, one way around that is to add validation code to trigger to make the field required, rather than using make it required false and then use validation code.
Mhm.
But you may not care about that. It might be too much to try to do now.
Yeah. Let me see. I'm just wondering, does this, I forgot, were the radio buttons before, were they indented a little bit? When we did it the old way with,
Don't remember.
I can't remember either.
what did I?
I mean, you can just bring them back. Just comment out 306 to 308 and
Right.
reactivate lines 309 through 312 and you will know.
Right. But do I need to have
Field. You do need to have
field?
field.
Okay.
So,
Is it just this?
yep. And then comment out, yeah.
These, yeah. Oh, is it going to freak out because it's
think
separated
so.
like that?
Should be.
No,
Let's see.
it shouldn't.
Okay. No,
So then,
I was
the only
imagining
difference is
things.
the asterisk is the difference,
Oh,
which, yeah, I guess Jonathan agreed.
And
with
you
that.
can have your own, just make the last value none, if that's what you want.
what's that?
Just make the last value. So go back to your code. See how it says, I don't know, false? Just change that to none with a capital N and you will have the same functionality, or you
Mhm.
should.
Yep, that's true. Should be the same exact behavior.
Well, you have to refresh. So you can just press edit again.
Oh, whoops.
Oh, that's weird. Is it the string none or is it the value none?
That might be the issue.
Oh, interesting.
I might
Maybe
only
it's-
special case true and false.
You don't want it to be a string.
No.
No, it might only special
Try
case true and
null,
false. in which case it
NULL,
is.
all lowercase. It's YAML.
Oh, really? You think it's JavaScript?
No, it's YAML.
Oh, interesting.
Oh gosh, let's start over. Yes. No.
It must be a string. Wait, how did you get it to be? I don't. That did
No,
work. The null
he
worked.
said,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay, we just
No.
had to
that's
test that one first.
hilarious. Ah,
Okay, so
Null is the word for an undefined value in most languages. I don't know other ones that use none besides Python.
oh,
There
interesting.
probably are other names for it.
okay. So should I change this to
No,
is it a-
you're, this is,
No,
this
it's-
is,
it's more readable?
It's just the YAML changes it to the word, to the Python equivalent, which is none.
Mhm.
Sorry, I might
It would-
have cut
it
off
would-
before you finished your question, probably.
No, that's fine. I just didn't know if it would. I was trying to think of future me, what's more readable. I mean, I think I could figure it out. Setting something to null is equivalent to is none.
well, the thing is, if something goes wrong with that question, then you might start questioning whether that is the thing that is broken. In which case, that would be an incorrect guess, most
Yeah.
likely.
I mean, the other solution is to make it a yes, no, maybe question and may get rid of the asterisk a different way.
Or have them be buttons, but it won't be as consistent with the rest of the interview, I think, if I'm understanding the reluctance correctly.
Yeah, that's
I don't know. I'm actually gonna see what Jonathan thinks. If he's special casing true and false, or if it's just built-in YAML behavior, that true and false turn into the Boolean true and false, but
Hmm.
none does not because it's a Pythonism. If he's special casing it, maybe he could special case capital
It's-
N-O-N, none.
Does YAML do capital T, capital F for true, false?
Yeah.
There's a whole
And then
So it
lowercase
does-
n
YAML
for
spec is-
null?
crazy.
YAML
Oh,
is
gosh.
absolutely insane. YAML takes uppercase true on yes, and then uppercase false off no. And it uses null or the tilde. You can use the tilde instead of that.
You would use the
What?
tilde instead.
Yeah.
So, but it
Holy
doesn't take none.
moly.
You just look this up, Bryce. None is
Yeah,
not.
yeah. Sorry, I'm looking at like a tutorial site now. It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't look
Lowercase
like
for
it takes none.
false?
No, it's uppercase for true or false,
Okay,
and it's uppercase for the true on and yes, and false off no. But it's
Okay.
lowercase for null.
all right,
YAML. It's insane.
impressive.
I had
So it says the canonical form is null, NULL. Okay. This might not be the only place though.
Exciting.
I'm just curious if there's a fix upstream that would make this better.
Without adding. Yeah, I don't know what comes out of the YAML parser, if it would give you none, most likely, or if it would just give you something wrong. I guess it would give you none. And it would, this
I
would
would-
just have any special, yeah.
You could just put since this works and it has the behavior you want, you might just put a comment there in the code and say, hey, we're using YAML to turn this into none.
okay.
But I'm like, so there's two fixes I can think of. Like one would be just investigate if Jonathan's doing anything to the YAML or if he's just taking it and loading it in as it is what it is, whatever the parser told me. I think that is what he's doing. And the other one is like the way that required questions are marked. Actually, I think radio buttons are not handled very well in general when they don't have a label. wonder if you would consider a fix there, like letting you choose to not show the marker.
I know we're, excuse me, I know we're just about out of time. I had one other issue, which I think works okay. Oh, well, so if you recall, there can be a number of, oh, it looks like I fixed this. Before I was thinking of if I wanted to make this in the review screen and I wanted to list all the delivery methods, I was thinking of doing it as a list separated by commas. I was thinking how to do that. But it looks like I had already gone back and just done a real lengthy bunch of ifs, and I would make just a bullet point for each one. So I guess that works.
So you can do a loop with an if you want. I mean, you don't even have to have an if. You just do a loop with a bullet, I think, from what I recall. But if you're happy with this, then this is a way.
These are all separate.
Yeah, I didn't do it. Yeah, because you can do multiple. So I didn't just have
and you gotta follow up.
actually
Right.
like a method as a separate variable. You could do hand and you could do mail in. So each one could be true or false. And there are different checkboxes and things. So,
You would have to make an attribute that was, say, .delivery, that was a DA list, and or a DA object actually, and then you would loop through true elements, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, cool.
Is it true elements or is it true values?
I don't think that'll be my design, but
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Wow. Well, this is
yeah, there's some choices for sure. I think the way you have it there is pretty good.
It's clear at least.
If you wanted to make it comma separated, did you not like the formatting? Did you try when you just put a comma there?
well, because I didn't do any logic to figure out how many items were in the list.
Mm-hmm.
And which, like, I wouldn't want to just have, I mean, I guess I could just have 5 things all separated by a comma and no and, but I don't know, I wanted it to be pretty. And so if there are only 2, just use and. If there are 3, use comma and, etc.
Wow, it's
So
a bit more complex,
this had me. But I know there's that function, I think, or something that says something that'll converts it into a list of objects or of words or strings, and that could make it pretty. So I was thinking about doing that, but I had forgotten that I had already made this change. So this is acceptable to me. I'll see what our testers think.
Yeah, I mean, I think probably what I would do is make it a dictionary, a DA dict, and you could still interact with the checkboxes separately like you do by making it a yes/no data type, but it's referring to an element of a dictionary. And then you can work with it as a dictionary and use the true values method of the DA dict that already exists. That's probably the refactor I would do. I don't think I quite understood what you were suggesting, Michelle, but it might be the same, which is just
That
like,
is what I was trying to suggest. I just got my words muddled. Yep.
oh, you were saying create a DA dict and use the elements of the DA dict. Okay.
Yeah, I just still get confused between Python dictionaries and objects. Still used to JavaScript. What can I do?
You could make a temporary list that just holds the things that they checked. You could Yeah, but I think the cleanest way is just to make a DA deck of all the choices, because then you're doing it in a more DocAssembly-ish way.
Mhm.
You could probably make it like a temporary variable and then use a list. Like add something to a list of strings where the string is what you want it to say, and you choose display. But again, like that is actually not the most translatable approach.
Yeah, well, once I have this up and running in English, I'm expecting I will have many questions about translations because we want to do this in Spanish too. So that'll be it.
Yeah, then that
Another-
wouldn't be very translation friendly, but
What you have now is translation friendly, so you might want to stick with it
yeah.
for just that reason.
Okay, great. Well, this was good. This cut down the list of questions that I had. There still are a couple more, but this was
Cool.
hugely helpful. Again, you've saved the day.
Feel free to ask in channel as well if you want to in between times too.
Okay, yeah, thanks.
And I think I still have to send you the link if you still want to meet on Thursday. I'll send you a link to the calendar.
Oh, yeah, okay, thanks. Is it the same one that you sent before? Because if you did,
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I could
I gave
probably-
you my booking, Microsoft bookings.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep. That will work.
I'll take a look there.
That's my calendar.
Great. All right. Well, thank you all. I really appreciate your help and ideas and patience.
Ditto. Thank you.